Zoom.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Show number 169.
Giggity.
Well, good evening, everybody. The Jimmy Palumbo Show. Show number 169. One Sugar Bear Roy Simmons. Steve Venditti just drove off the road. He's an old lineman from the New York Giants, but he's famous. One of the early guys to come out as gay. Unfortunately, he died at a young age, but still, Sugar Bear Roy Simmons, a lineman in the 80s. 169. Of course, also one Mets, Jets, Knicks. They all won championships in 69. Good year to be a New York fan. I was only 4. Anyway, it's show number 169. I'm coming to you from downtown Mawa in my average kitchen studios. Of course, across the glass, your friend and mine, my fandom app star. Coming to you from downtown Matawan, Mr. Dave Sturcio at his house here with beautiful flowers in the background from his daughter's recital day here at Shea. You know what, Dave? Back in the day, I used to get my daughter those flowers for the recitals, and then about 4 years in, that'll do it here. That's $60 on flowers. I said it's not going to happen.
Dude, first of all, highway robbery is what those people charge, especially if you don't go to the florist prior to. They're like, we're selling flowers outside the auditorium. I'm like, oh, great. And it's like, how much for that little tiny itty bitty bouquet? Oh, $20.
I know.
What?
Listen,
what was that?
I feel like I am a world traveler in like the year 12, and I came back on a ship, and you're at the dock all ready to set sail, and I'm like, whoo, gets a little rough out there. You're like, no, this is me. I got this. Okay, the good ship, Sturcio. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Of course,
she got about 15 bouquets, bro. There's like every family member that showed up to this thing brought her flowers. So here's dad on 2 shoulders. Like,
okay. And of course, what that really means in Latin, for every bouquet that your daughter got, is every Dallas game you're going to miss on Sundays when it gets older. Because, again, last week I realized, I thought about this all week. I'm like, he has no chance. Now, if you watch the games with me, like me and Dave Sturcio, my buddy Jimmy Palumbo, we watched out. Okay, you can scoot out and watch the games with me. But then I realized you watch the game with like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson in your daughter's life. It's the grandfather and uncle. It is over. You're like the Dallas Mavericks right now, okay? It's over. I can't. Matter of fact, Kyle already's contacted me. The over and under on sporting events and things that you want to do it's too. AI can't handle it. Anyway, we're talking about recitals. My daughter had one, a big one. His daughter had one. And I got to admit, at my daughter's one, I was going to do this at the end of the show, but I'll just do it now. Who cares? Before we get into our card thing. It's a long weekend. It was 5 shows for my daughter. 4 shows, 3 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. I was there for all of them. It's just a long day in and out. But the cutest ones are the ones your daughter's age. They're just so adorable. I actually enjoy watching those. There's always that one little girl dance when the one girl just wants to talk it over. She looks like Pat Riley on a timeout, and one girl just stared at the audience a little defiant, like, no, I'm not dancing. Everybody's dancing around me. But the best was the little girl next to her gave her a look like, are you kidding me? It's game 7 here, and I thought the girl next to her was going to call a quick timeout and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
You don't understand. There was in Stella's routine. There's somebody like I guess like when they start doing their dance or whatever, they dance to Surfing USA, so it was adorable, right? They're doing the whole swimming and but then like there's a part where she has to like drift off, right? And somebody got in her way, like because they were too slow, and like you could tell Stella was like, can you get in line? Like she was like, yo, you are in my spotlight right now. I suggest you move or daddy's gonna kick your ass.
And it's
Oh,
it.
man.
And all of a
There
sudden,
were a couple people though that just froze. Like
I
it was
know.
like the
It's
everybody's got that right. And there was a couple people like
but the worst
didn't
is
know what was happening.
this little girl who kind of froze. She fell. She also like fell on her butt. You know, they're only 3 inches tall, these little girls. And then she started to cry. And that's when it became like the song was half over. A little girl's crying. And I'm saying to myself, if I was on the sideline, if I was near my daughter, I would have grabbed my daughter and got her off stage. But everybody was laughing and giggling at the expense of this little kid. But she finally got up and smiled at the end. But still, it was
Jimmy, I don't know if you've experienced this in your time and years, but the worst is the boys that are dressed up in like tuxedo t-shirts. Like those are the ones that are like a part of this whole thing too. They look like they're being held against their will. Like it's almost as if mom signed up the daughter, thought babysitting was not in the option. So they're like, you know what?
Okay.
Don't you want to dance too, little Billy? And Billy's like, not really. Yeah, you do.
There's only 2 guy dancers in my daughter's thing. And every time I see it, I'm like, man, like, does this kid get like a game box or an Xbox? Like, what did he get? What did he get to be able to do this? But then here's the funniest thing. There's 7,000 girls dancing at this thing, right? Then when you go to a Broadway show, there's 4 girls dancing and 30 guys dancing. Where are these guys coming from? There's like no minor leagues for guy. I think dancers in New York, they turn 18, they move to New York City, and someone's like, you should dance, man. It's the only way to get on Broadway. And like within 3 weeks, every guy you go to a Broadway show, this guy's flying all over the place, and they're all good.
I did think of you when they're like, up next is the like 13 and 14-year-old hip hop, and I was like, oh my God,
it's just
here we go.
It's the worst.
Here we go.
I can't take it. But they don't do solos.
Don't get me wrong; they look pretty cool, but it's just like. All right.
Now, wait till you get into the solo hip hop, then you want to hang yourself. It's the worst experience of my adult life. I've said that on the air. I'm proud of it. No, it was a great listen. What's great about it is the shows are packed at competitions, and if your daughter gets into competitions, I don't know if she will. Nobody in the audience really cares. There's no one really in the audience except for scattered moms. So the recitals are jammed like a shitty Colonia High theater. It's jammed.
I had 2 rows worth of stuff.
Yeah, of course you did. And so, but what happened? Yeah, and what if there was a Dallas game? Anyway, the high spiraling kick taken by the Cowboys at the 8, and Sturcho's watching Surfing USA. You gotta go inside, outside. Anyway,
oh my God!
But during competitions, no one's in the audience really. As mostly other dance schools and kids, it's just not the same. But at recitals, it's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. I got my mother in there on Sunday. Her hips bothering her. Took her a while to get her in. There's wheelchairs all over the place, people cheering. But the loudest cheer, I laugh. You get these dancers that are really involved with the older kids. They're out there breaking their ass, and they get a nice applause. And then you put the little 5-year-olds out there. Everybody's got like yelling out names, flowers all over.
I make sure that like I'm the obnoxious one, like just yelling on the top of my lungs. To be.
I always raise my arm like this in the back, so she always sees an arm go up. Because sometimes I yell and the baby's like, you can't yell, but yes you can. It's great. My sister was yelling out. It was a lot of fun. A shout out to my brother-in-law, came along, very sweet of him. But yeah, dance recitals are it's baseball, hot dogs, and dance recitals here at Shea. One guy has 3 girls dancing. I don't know. I don't know what he does for a living, but he must be loaded. I'll leave it at that. But you haven't even experienced. You're going to create some app called Dance Recital app where you're like, you're going to go to actually, we're going to get to your app in a second. Anyway, let's get to the normal beginning of our show. But it's good to just mess around because you know what? It's my show, and who cares? But the beautiful flowers in the background for Stella and her beautiful dance recital to Surfing USA getting involved. All right, now I have a unique card here. Now, I learned some things about this guy that I think you're going to find. Again, maybe not. This guy, you may not remember him, but you should. He's got a plaque in Monument Park. So you should know who he
and
is.
I'm definitely going to remember him.
And he's kind of famous for a Yankee, but it's one of those weird cards. And it is Elston Howard. You should know. Do you know who he is?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the intricate history. I just know.
Now here, first thing, you had Bill Dickey, who played with Ruth and Garrick, and then you had Yogi, and then it blended itself to Elston Howard, and then eventually Thurman. So the Yankees had like 4 catchers in 60 years that were pretty substantial. And then, of course, it didn't go anywhere. But he played from 1955 to 1968, and then he coached from 1969 to 79, first base coach. He played most of the years with Yankees, 1 year in Boston. However, his 1 year after winning a lot with the Yankees, he goes to 1 year in Boston. They go to the World Series in 67. I keep on forgetting this. Red Sox, and they lost in 7. That's so shitty. And he had some huge hits in that game as well as an aging veteran. Also, he was the first black player to play for the Yankees. I should have brought that up first. That's significant.
A little bit of a big deal, but all right.
Well, listen, shame on the Yankees. You know what's sad? Like Jackie Robinson retired, and the Yankees, we're going to have a black player. That's a whole nother documentary. Yankees definitely need to talk it over there for sure. Bad job, if you ask me. And I actually read they didn't even go for Dominican players and Puerto Rican players. And that's why they sucked from like 63 to 78, whatever the hell it was. That's another story for another time. He's also the first black coach in the American League. Again, Elston Howard hitting threes here. Played a little left field, first base, but they wanted him to go to catcher because Yogi was getting older. And Bill Dickey actually trained him, the original catcher back in the 30s, trained him to be a good catcher. And supposedly Bill Dickey helped all the catchers, including Thurman, which blows my mind. But there's some weird stuff here. First of all, so Elston Howard, great Yankee, great humanitarian. He died young at 51 of heart disease. Very sad, died quick too. But a couple of things about Elston Howard that I think are going to blow you away. Here we go. First of all, one, everybody knows Reggie got in the fight with Billy Martin. Big Elston Ellie Howard, as they call him, was in the middle, and he looks like he's 6'10", just blocking. Reggie looked like a point guard out of Texas, and he's like pushing him back, and Billy Martin looks like a fly in the wall trying to get by Elston Howard, trying to kill each other. So that's a famous clip. It's on YouTube. Check it out. Back in 77. He's also, you know what? He also, when you're playing softball and there's 2 outs, how do you signal to everybody it's 2 outs?
2.
He invented that. He did that first.
No.
I swear to God. Is that the most unbelievable thing? I guess everybody was doing this and it was confusing. So he did, and a little twist. Okay. So
that's
right
hilarious.
Away, that's hilarious. It gets worse. It gets worse. You know the end of the bat, the donut, the weight?
Yeah.
He invented that.
Wow.
And he got involved with 2 guys from New Jersey.
What a pioneer.
The Arizona Cardinals were like a team that invested in it, and him and these 2 guys from New Jersey. But like, don't you think he should have like enough to retire? But people started to copy it. He didn't have enough money for lawyers. So a donut is, of course, Little League banned it in 2012. And there's also research now that it doesn't help. Your muscles get used to a heavier bat. I don't know all this stuff. Bottom line is, I grew up, everybody had a donut. It had a little plastic coating on it. And Elston Howard invented that.
I just grabbed the second bat.
That's
all.
I know, but they did that for years. And then he came out with the donut. People said, oh, it's much easier to do it this way. Anyway, my timeout. I got more. On Elston Howard here.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's more. Behind door number 3. No. Where the old Yankee Stadium sits, that field there is called I get you want a Let's Make a Deal reference? What a did I just hit a bank shot and call it on Let's Make a Deal?
Yeah, I don't know why, but that one just like triggered let's go to it.
I can't believe I made you laugh on a door number 3. The old stadium sits, the field there is named after Elston Howard. That's interesting, right? And here's the last one that, again, I found funny. There's a guy in the New York Knicks. You never heard of him. He played a little bit last year. Josh Hart.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. That's his great nephew. I mean, that's it. I'm done.
Wow.
To me, more than the donut, that was a drop the bomb for me. Like, what this guy's like, he's completely more popular now than he was when he played. I mean, donuts, Josh Hart, Fields doing this, 2 down. Anyway.
I think I'm more blown away by this.
I know, it's unbelievable. I can't believe. Oh my God, that's so funny. So Elston Howard, Big Ellie Howard. That's my old timer card of the day. So who do you got?
Well, sparked some controversy over the past week over on Chop Sports. I decided I'm going to get right into it with the all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith. Okay.
Now, the only reason why I did this again is because I posted a video on Chop Sports the other day, and I said, give me enough with the O-line talk. Like a lot of these runs are at the second level. And here comes Jimmy from the couch for a 3.
Well, no, listen. I really think, first of all, Emmitt Smith's a great running back. But you posted highlights where there was gargantuan holes through the. Your argument was ruined by your.
I'm well aware of the holes, but it's the second level.
No. Second level. Anybody? Palumbo rambles inside the Miami 5, tossing the ball back to the ref. We'll be right back.
I think the best part about this card is the fact that he's behind his offensive line and he's behind Moose Johnston.
He should have bought
goal line carry.
First of all, wasn't Larry Allen one of his linemen?
He was.
I would, if I ran behind Larry Allen right now before he passed away, a week before he died, I would have had at least 17, 18 yards a game. Just like, hey, Larry, I'm just going to run into your asshole and I'll see if I can get 3 yards on it. Now, Emmitt what you should have showed is the highlight of the Emmitt game that I think the Giants, I really believe this. A lot of people don't. If the Giants had won that game and we had home field throughout, I don't know. I think that Cowboys reversal of fortune there. That was a big game. The Giants did.
Yeah, my father was at the game. He told me, he's like, it was just one of those heroic things. Like I don't like me personally. I don't like when sports use the word like heroic or heroes. Like that should be dedicated for others. But like,
no, he had a great.
It was
game.
A heroic like performance by Emmitt to basically break his whole shoulder, put it in a sling, and come out and do more damage in the second half. So I
couldn't stand him, but you can't deny it. It was a great guy. I was there, broke my heart, and it sucked. But hey, Emmitt Smith, great back. I still think Tony Dorsett would have been way better on those teams. Anyway, but the Cowboys had a good line even for Tony Dorsett. So Donovan, Fitzgerald, and those old time guys. Listen, when you're a Giant fan, back in the day when there was no ESPN, you tend to knew the Cowboys. I think were even more popular then than they are now because the Cowboys, not all this internet shit, not all these. Everybody had people had Cowboy jerseys when you didn't even know where to buy them. You know what I mean?
I think my father made one. There was
all kinds of shit. I remember
Thanksgiving Day game where a backup quarterback. I want to say it was Danny White, but I could have been wrong. But there was no Danny White jerseys for sale, so he just basically made one out of a white T-shirt.
The Cowboys sucked in the beginning of their franchise, and then next, Landry's got the hat. And by the way, he was a coach of the Giants. You had Staubach, All-American from the Navy, and there's all kinds of crap there. But Emmitt Smith, I saw your video, a great player, no doubt about it. And so we got Elston Howard and Emmitt Smith Day here at Shea, but Emmitt Smith didn't invent the donut, didn't invent the shoulder pads. All right. So
he also had more than 200 yards in one game against the Giants.
Elston Howard with a huge lead on Emmitt Smith here at the 5-minute mark. So anyway, people listen to this show must be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
They got to think cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's what they really have to think of.
My favorite part of the show. We start talking about nonsense. I love it. Anyway, which brings us to my favorite Patreon. We are still mired. I cannot believe. Listen.
No. You said last week, you texted me about somebody new. You said, do you know who this guy is? Because he just became a Patreon member.
No, that was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow. I thought that was last week. All right.
Well. No. I think, wait a minute.
So wait, you're telling me that you didn't get to Mariano Rivera?
No, I don't think so.
I know. I think you might be wrong here. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, you know
that
what?
Text, I don't have my phone on me, but
I'm going to go. I can hang on a second. I can go. I know this is such good viewing.
This is riveting radio.
Riveting
folks,
stuff
we
here.
have to figure out. I'm pretty sure somebody joined up after last week's show and gave you the 142 or the 42. Sorry.
Oh my God. You know what? Absolutely. You know what? First of all, I'm going to fire my producers. Dave, you're gone. I
want to just remind you.
First of all, we are at 42, and I got to call. First of all, Michael Damian Kelly. That is your name on my. I suck. Now I think I sent him an email, but maybe that was coming back. I was having some email issues at Shay. But yes, I will be talking about Michael Damon Kelly for a while now. Every week you will get a shout
MDK? What are you talking about?
MDK is number 4. I can't believe I did that. What a jerk. Michael, I'm putting Michael Kelly in right here, right on the sheet. Well, a shout out. We are
Elston Howard, Emmett Smith, and Michael Dean, whatever the fuck his name.
And Michael Kelly is taking over Emmett Smith right now in a major development. I can't believe it. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine said his sister wants to become Mariano Rivera, and now she's going to be Spider Lockhart. Venditti is definitely just drove off the road. So did your father. Your father just drove off the road with that reference. Oh, my God. So Michael Damian Kelly for 3. Got it. We're tied at 81. 42. We now have a Mariano Rivera. All fans 18 and over. Thank you so much. I will be sending you an email right after this show because I suck. And that's it. So we are at 42. What a bad segment. I can't believe this. I'm aging. Jimmy Palumbo here from the Omni. But I also got to give a shout out to Jeff Fulgione and Will Pena. And of course, Tyson Hogan. Good morning, fellas. Here's to a great show. He's always on my commenting here on this, whatever the hell streaming service we're doing here. And also my friend Dave Ben, who I went 16 years of schooling with, who he told me that his sister will be signing up to be Mariano Rivera. But that'll do it here.
Just swap him. Give Michael Dean Kelly whatever.
I got to look over my Patreon. Some people are getting it for free now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how any of that works. It just, all fans 18 and over.
If that's the case, then Bump Day just got
and of course, Dave Sturcho got a boost in his social media presence. He had to pay for his daughter's flowers at his recital. Who does he go to? Jimmy Palumbo. I'll see if I can fuck him over for a few minutes.
Uncle Jimmy.
Oh, my Uncle Jimmy. Oh, dear God. Anyway, also on a shitty note, I got to give a shout out. 2 people from my high school graduating class passed away in the last couple of weeks. I felt really bad. 2 very sweet, a girl named Lisa Barrett, who passed away. She was a doll, sweet. No one ever had a bad thing to say about her. And also Maria Vargas passed away. I think I might have mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, but I all of a sudden you get these phone calls and people like your age are dying, cancer and so on and so forth. And you're just like, wow, wait a minute. Like I'm looking at my yearbook. I got the yearbook out. You always do that when someone dies. And
starting to put the X's through people or not?
Well, not the X's, but you're like, hey, people dropping like flies here. What's going on?
I think that it does get kind of morbid, like specifically on like Facebook, like really young people would pass away and like I'm still friends with them on Facebook. It's like you can't like unfriend. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Like I have I have multiple deceased people on my friends list, and it's like I can't.
Me too. I know, and you also like then you send a note to the kid who doesn't know me from a can of paint, and then you get a note back like, "Oh, she talked about you. She talked about you quite often." I'm like, you didn't have to say that. I haven't talked to her in a long time, but God bless.
And you come back like, how much did she talk about?
What am I going to say? Hey, they were on Patreon, but don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll run out of it.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like I am so sorry to hear about your mother. Real quick, she was number 40 on my Patreon. If you could just make sure that just gets transferred.
Sure, that's transferred over there. Okay, is it part of the estate? Let me know. Terrible joke. But no, on a serious note, Lisa Barrett, Maria Vargas, really sweethearts, good people, and you will be sorely missed. All right, well, listen, I'm wearing the patches again, chasingmiracles.com. My mother looked like a Pillsbury Doughboy. She had patches all over her hip, her knee. They're sending her, she without wearing them, she's like bedridden. So she wears these patches. Go to chasingmiracles.com. If you got any kind of pain or any kind of arthritic situation.
Is that why you asked for my home address? Are you sending me some goodies?
Well, no? Donna listens to the show. Donna and Tommy are fans of the show. They've always been fans of me as well. And they said they must have heard you say something and like, we're sending you stuff. They're also sending you another product, which you put in water You just drop it in. It's like a little tea bag looking thing. And they
good.
saw the jug. When you get them, you should be getting it soon. She mailed it to you.
All right. Cool. Thank you in advance.
You could try the pat and try them. See if you know.
Oh, I'm putting anywhere there's an ache, I'm putting it somewhere.
Yes, there's all kinds
I heard it's shit your body needs is what I was told.
That's it. Shit your body needs here at Shea. So anyway, that is it. ChasingMiracles.com. Check out the patches. They're miracle stem cell patches. They do create an immediate effect. My mother can't go more than 2 days without putting them on. I wear them. You got put them on for 12 hours, take them off for 12 hours. They're easy. It's like put one of those circular Band-Aids on. Takes you 5 seconds. Okay. No needles, no peanut. It's easy as hell. And I'll talk to you off air a little bit more about it, of course, but they're cool. And these coral calcium packets are cool too. Get energy and all that. ChasingMiracles.com. Well, we discussed here at Shea the recitals. I was going to talk about that now, but we already covered that. Yankees, Dodgers, good games. Yankees got a little taste of, good pitching. Good pitching. Guys like Giancarlo, thank you. Giancarlo didn't make contact all weekend. I'm glad. I said they got to bench him on Monday. He needs a day off.
They avoided a very, very, very big scare with Soto. I thought for sure,
I know.
In typical Yankee form, that he was going to go out with a forearm fucking tear. If you could tear your forearm, I'm sure he could.
Right. But you know what I thought was a stupid storyline, though? I know he's a key part of the Yankees. Don't get me wrong. So he's out the first game. They're facing one of the best pitchers. It's like, without Soto, it's like, no. The guy pitched a gem. I'm not saying Soto. Of course, he would have made a difference. All the great players do, but like they made it sound like, Yankees, that's it. They'll get shut out the rest of the year without Soto. Calm down, everybody, relax.
Judge put one into orbit on Sunday night.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yes, deep drive. That was a bomb. And they played some small ball bunting and stuff yesterday, which was great. Yankees, Dodgers are good, and they're going to be good. The Dodgers are never, I don't think, not going to be good over a period.
And they also spend the most money, too. They're the Yankees of old, yeah.
That's it. And I got to be honest with you. This NHL hockey thing, man, God, does nobody care about this? I haven't watched
a single minute.
If I was on Jeopardy and someone said, who are the Florida Panthers playing? I'd have been like, Ottawa. I have no idea. Talk about no one cares.
Take a stab at some Canadian team.
And the NBA, wow. The Celtics were the best team all year. Dallas Mavericks, they're up to NBA hockey. No one cares about this one. Celtics will probably sweep. But in bigger news, I think the biggest storyline of the week is me playing softball again. Let me tell you. And the Knicks, I'm batting 538. I was 3 for 4 on Sunday.
Across all leagues?
I play in 2 leagues. One league is a little bit less Sundays, called with the Potbellies. I was 3 for 4 on Sunday. I played very well. I was hitting ropes. I'm feeling it at the plate. And also in the better league last night, this is what drives me. I was 1 for 3. So I get it. First of all, I have not had an offer yet, which I'm sure will come. But I got a nice rope over the shortstop's head. I pulled the ball last night. Then I hit a chopper, bad chopper thrown out by 6 steps. But we were down by 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th, 7-inning game. Bases loaded, 2 out, and here's Trino. So I did one of my patented. Now I have a golf swing at the plate. Fans were on their feet saying, like, I could hear it in the crowd. They were like, wow, this guy. Of course, no respect from the other team. No respect from my team. They don't know me. I'm a 9th round draft pick. And I'm like, you know what? I already had a hit on the day. I catch and I play first base. And I don't even, and most of the time I'm on the bench. And I get up and I said, I'm going to do one of those, gonna swing, put your shoulders down, and then swing at it. It works sometimes for like the shitty guys at first and second base. Dude, I hit a rope opposite field down the first base line. I came this close from beating the first baseman. It would have been all the way to the wall. Everybody would have scored. Fucking guy made a fucking great stab and caught it. I couldn't believe it. I hit it on the screws too. And even my bench was like, oh man, good idea, good rope. So we lost the game, but I was 1 for 3. So I'm hitting very well this year. and also made a decent play in the field. So, like, I'm aging Johnny Trino here, Shay. Well worth the 9th round money that you pay for draft picks. I want to talk about the WNBA briefly.
Why?
Because I'm annoyed. But
I'm
I'm
annoyed
wrong.
too. I'm annoyed too. I have some thoughts. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Okay. Let's see. I think we're going to match thoughts, but I don't know. Now, listen, the Caitlin Clark Olympic thing, as a marketing thing, maybe you should have added her. Maybe she'll be an alternate. She's kind of the face of women's basketball right now. I don't think it's a racial thing. She scored the most points in college. She's a good player. She might be a little thin, like all Rickies are. If you look at Patrick Ewing, he looked like olive oil the first year with the Knicks. You know, they get bigger, they get stronger. That's the way it works. Whether or not she should be on the team, you know, maybe they have some good players there. The thing with me is, okay, everyone's talking about, the attendance now is unbelievable. Okay, in 1998, 26 years ago, the WNBA drew more people. Did you know that?
Well, so, because it was new back then. No,
it was second season. So I'm just trying to tell everybody, like, everybody calm down. In other words, and then now the TV ratings are tripled. Okay, that's amazing. And really to the big three that Caitlin Clark and the other 2 people that got drafted. But I want to see if that lasts, because you know what it is? Caitlin Clark's coming to Indiana, is coming to play Liberty. Everybody goes. But like when the season wears on a little bit, is everybody running back the second time? I don't think so. And I will guarantee you, TV ratings are triple right now. I want to see ratings at the end of next season. I just don't think this league is that popular. And everybody's making it sound like it might be more popular than the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. But everybody's making like this.
NHL Stanley Cup Finals are up 40% from last year, believe it or not.
I know, but that's
40. I'm not making that up.
Okay, but the bottom line is, I don't think these ratings are going to last. I really don't. I know it seems more popular now, but man, 3 years ago, I don't even remember that. Even on Sportscast, they don't even. Every now and then, and the Liberty won by 6 against. Nobody knows the teams. I bet you go up to 100 people and say, name all the cities these teams are in, they wouldn't know it. Nothing against the sport. I watch NCAA women's college basketball sometimes. I don't watch the NBA, WNBA. I don't know why. And it's also being kind of funded or fronted by the NBA, which is a behemoth.
Well, that's always been a thing. For Caitlin Clark, you know, a lot of people are, I think, bitter about the attention she's getting. And I'm like, okay, I have a solve for you. Be a better basketball player than her. You know, like, she is the all-time leading scorer in literal history. Right. And it's like, they're catching a lot of shit. And like, there was a freeze frame from ESPN post saying, like, I guess the team lost by 15 or they won by 15 or something happened. But the freeze frame was like Caitlin Clark getting fouled. And that was the big story. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, listen, wait a minute. We all had to sit through this shit during Taylor Swift during football season. This is the same fucking thing. It's the flavor of the month. Everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark right now. But guess what? In November or September, rather, when the football season rolls around, not a soul will be talking about the WNBA. I'm sorry. And again, respect. I have a daughter. I hope she grows up to be a basketball player. I don't know. But like, you can't force feed people to watch this shit if it's not watchable basketball. That's all.
And women's college softball is a better sporting event anyway. First of all, the big thing about me with the foul with Caitlin Clark, she didn't get fouled. She got you. I watched that highlight. Well, I know. She got punked. This girl was like, "Oh, screw this girl," and drove her shoulder in from behind. It was a terrible, believe it or not,
that girl got cut from like every WNBA team because of the fact that she's like a hired goon to do shit like that. So you know what? Just like Hack-a-Shaq, just like all these methods somebody, you want to freaking rough her up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, no. Rough her up like when she's going up for a layup, come down hard across the shoulder and the neck. Don't hit her when she's standing there without the ball. And she did it. She did that little, and she just blew into her. Shitty play, awful. And that's the last time I'm going to talk about the WNBA. So, no.
And that was the last time we talked WNBA.
Listen, of course, I hope they make as much money as they can. I'm in showbiz too. They're in showbiz with athletics. I hope I make as much money as I can, which is not a lot right now. And I hope you make the most, but I just don't think it's that popular league. It's not as popular as the other leagues. It's just not. I mean, you know what? Cricket's down by 4 at the half against the WNBA. So that's the funniest thing I've said in 3 months. And cricket, you know what? Right now it's between Elston Howard and cricket.
I heard a commercial. I laughed my ass off. I'm at the dinner the other night, and I hear a commercial on the way home, and it says something about, like, I guess they're promoting ESPN, like the highly anticipated match between India and Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, the highly anticipated match. What are you talking about?
But then I read in the post today that, like, that's how baseball was started. They all played cricket, and anyway, you know what though? I know at least cricket kind of feels like baseball, and I do hear it's pretty wild and popular. But I know, listen, it's neck and neck between hockey and cricket right now in terms of knowledge of the game. It's just like, I know some guy swings up. He's up there with a frat paddle and with a ball that's heavy, and you
gotta like bounce it, like throw a bounce pass, a heavy bounce pass.
Right. And it's like, and the game's 6 hours long or something like that. And like, sounds like a big party to me. But I don't even think those people. Those people! Look at me. Those countries. Some of those countries, right. they don't drink.
Oh, really?
Can't be. I'm wrong about that, right?
I mean, I don't know, but I just.
When's the last time your buddy said, "Dude, we just got back from Saudi Arabia. Ooh, I'm so hungover." No,
well, Saudi Arabia's a little different because it's like they're coming into money, but like India, yeah, you're right.
India has
India. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I went to India. Oh yeah, how was the booze? Like, no.
I'm going to stop this conversation because between the both of us, we know nothing. So that's it. I don't know anything about this.
You got the hook, right? Showbiz. Like,
all I know is it drew 50,000 people in Long Island. They built like a cricket stadium. Imagine, first of all, you're living in time out. I'm going to go off on a tangent here. You're living in Long Island, okay? And you're working for the parks or recreation of fucking Syosset or somewhere out there, right? And you get this phone call 2.5 years ago. Yeah, I'm looking for Jimmy Palumbo. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, well, listen, we're thinking on having the T20 cricket finals. And we're thinking, you know that old field over there with the 3 softball fields? Yeah. What about it? Well, we want to build a temporary 50,000 stadium in that area. Like, what? The guy got that phone call. He said, what do I got to do? What's cricket? And then he had to figure it's square. And then he had to put the stands in. Some guy had his soul irritated by that construction project. And I think when it's over, they take it down and they'll be playing. I got a doubleheader in softball in Syosset, whatever the hell that field is. Could you imagine? If Artie Lang was listening, he'd be laughing his ass off because we used to do that material all the time. You ever see? I'm going on a tangent, nor do I care, right? This show's a mess. Listen, there's a ball hanging on during the holidays, a big a crystal-looking lighted ball for Christmas at 57th and 7th, arguably one of the busiest intersections, okay? And there's a ball hanging in about 3 stories up over the intersection. Okay. 4 different buildings have the wire into it. Okay. So you're working for New York City in some underground bullshit job, right? Pushing favors. And you get this phone call from Mayor Giuliani. Yeah, we're thinking about hanging a crystal ball. Oh, yeah. Where do you want it hung? On 57th and 7th? Yeah, what do you want, on the side of a building? No, we want to hang it over the intersection. Now, think about this. I got to get on the phone call with the Northwest building. I got to get in touch with that jerk off. Then I got to go to the other side. It's a historic landmark. I talk to that jerk off. I got to get these 4 assholes to say, listen, do you mind if we drill into your building and string a wire like we're part of the Walendas? And then we're going to anyways. And then we're going to hang this ball? Like, and what if the ball falls like a windy, the rain? I swear to God. Anyway, that was a shout out to Artie Lang. We used to laugh over that shit while we were drinking tequila and beer back in the day. Anyway, I digress. What are we doing here? Oh, which brings us to cornholelevel.com, another one of my sponsors by Mike Caprio, my second baseman. I'm wearing the Corona shirt. I think he has one at home. Listen, Dave, it's summertime now. Cornhole. A lot of people playing cornhole. And people having trouble with their cornhole.
Between cricket and cornhole, there's a lot of exciting happenings in the backyards of many.
Yes, and I can't do anything. If you have a crooked cricket, I can't do anything for you. But if your cornhole is crooked, I can straighten you out. Okay?
Oh, do tell.
I'll open up with a couple. I'll serve you a couple of daiquiris. The cornholelevel.com, what it does, you hook this thing on, Dave, and it makes the cornhole board perfectly level to the specs of the National Association of Cornhole Lovers of America, whatever they call that. And you hook that thing on. It's $19.95. You get 2 of them in a pack, 20% off if you enter JP Show. So go to cornholelevel.com and check these things out. They got some insignias in there, and they're rebranding some stuff now as we speak. So go to cornholelevel.com. But of course, more importantly, cornholelevel.com sponsors what segment, Dave?
Yes, I would say nationally, maybe even globally renowned and known segment entitled Jimmy's Credits. Now, again, IMDb lights on fire when I go to that website and I hit Jimmy Palumbo. I search his name and I'm like, Jesus, when does this end? Right? It's just so long. And today, one of my favorite shows, I believe it was an Amazon original, was Sneaky Pete. Sneaky Pete was great. And I've loved that actor since Boiler Room. He was like one of the junior salesmen from Boiler Room. That dude, anything he's in, I actually really, really like.
He's got that, like what I call that Gene Hackman thing. When he's on screen, you always watch. It's really weird. He's good. He's good. Yeah. I mean, look, Sneaky Pete, I did season 1. Now, this is an odd little thing with Sneaky Pete for me. So I booked this pilot. Of course, I'm always looking to become a series regular on shows, of course, because then I don't have to I do this podcast once a month instead of once a week. And
that's all it takes. I just got to get you one good booking. I don't have to do this shit no more.
I'll probably still do it anyway. But so I booked this pilot called Sneaky Pete, and I played it. I was playing this bus driver in a scene. Now, when casting director was Sharon Bialy, and was directed by Seth Gordon, who executive produces The Goldbergs, which has been on for 10 seasons. And it stars Giovanna Ribisi, also Dominic Lombardozzi. I'm starting to realize me and Dominic, I think, have done 4 things together. Well, he's the star. I was the sidekick. I was like a young Obi Toppin waiting for the 3-pointer. Inside, Lombardozzi got it, and he's fouled. Palumbo was waiting by the 3-point. Why did you kick it out? Dominic's a great guy, a great actor. So when I booked this thing, I knew I was playing a bus driver in a key element where you find out that he's always lying to people and getting over it, being Sneaky Pete. And a couple of days before, they said to me, hey, do you have a picture of like maybe you and your dad? Right? My dad was still alive at the time, 2015. And I said, so I got this great picture of me and my dad. So when I got on the bus, they put it on top of the bus above my head while I'm driving. And the cool thing was, it was a cute picture of me and my dad, but they shot it. And so that picture is in Celluloid Hero. Like every time I see it, actually makes me a little sad now, but my dad is in the show. I mean, only has a photo, and they used that. Actually, I'm going to get to Giovanna Ribisi in a second. So then we shoot this thing. I thought I played well. You know what I mean? Again, I don't care. Other actors probably hate me for this, but like another game where I get inserted into the lineup. Every time I get the ball, I hit my threes. I go to the line, hit a couple free throws, and I go to the end of the bench and I put the sweats back on, never to be seen again. Like
the breakaway pants.
No, we just talked about Giovanna Ribisi, and I'm like, dribble right around him, laid it up and in. He can't guard me, right? And then he's a star, and I'm doing a podcast with Dave Starcho. It's like, life
is hard.
So, but it was frustrating. We did. But anyway, here's the worst part. So we shoot the scene. Well, there's a couple of goofy things about it. So then we're in this huge warehouse in Yonkers that they were trying to make into a TV studio where you can shoot stuff really high. And they put this big bus, a real bus, right in the middle of this thing. Almost looked like something where you'd have a rodeo. It was like huge and high ceilings and stuff. And it was also like, it was cold in there and miserable. And they put us under this tent, okay? And they had a heater there. And since there was only 2 actors there for the shoot, it was me and Giovanna Ribisi. And I walked in, he was sitting down, and I was like, this guy's a star. Like, that's cool. And I'm like, hey, I think his mother might have been a casting director. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. And I walked in, and I just went like, hey, and we're sitting in those director's chairs. And he was not, again, I always say he was not friendly, but it was like, he just went, hey, I'm like, I'm Jimmy. He's like, I'm Giovanni. All right. And then it was like, I sat down, I had my coffee and a paper. And then we sat there for a half hour. Nothing was exchanged. I even said like, I tried this routine as if we're on a construction site. A little nippy out there. It gets cold in these things. He said, yeah, it does. That'll do it.
That's it.
Then I tried like, I said, I don't mind. After 9 hours, I go into like overtime and stuff. He goes, yeah, that's true. Then I'm thinking he might be again one of those actors that does the method acting where since we're not supposed to get along in the show, we can't get along when they're not rolling the camera. Could be. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, so he was friendly, but like I wanted to go like
I'm waiting for you at the end of the conversation, like, is it me? Is it me? Do you not want to talk to me?
You really want? You know what? It was just me and him, so I couldn't say anything. So then we shot the thing. He was great to work with. Because I had to do this thing, my sight line. I had to look through the mirror to see him because I'm driving the bus. And I had, by the way, horrific job of me acting. You driving the bus, you're like, nobody drives like that. So I had to look. Jimmy, don't move the steering wheel as much. Rookie
Jimmy, 10 and 2 is not required here.
There you go. And then you always move the wheel because you want to go like, hey, where are you going? You want to do this. And so then I just calmly, I figured that out. So then we shoot the thing. I make my money. I go home. And then like a month goes by, 2 months goes by, 3 months go by, 6 months go by. So I call my agent. I said, hey, whatever happened with that Sneaky Pete thing? Like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. It was supposed to be HBO. Nothing. A year goes by. I can't find this thing anywhere. No IMDb. And I called my agent and like, yeah, Jimmy, it just went away. I don't know. Maybe it's just a pilot that went away. I'm like, oh, all right. Next thing you know, I'm on Amazon. And Amazon runs a promotion. This is like 10 years ago, different world, not like it is today. We're going to show 3 pilots. And whichever one does the best on Amazon Prime, that show's going to go into series. So
what based off of what? Just viewership?
Based upon viewers, clicks, reviews, whatever. That's how we're going to base it on. I'm like, oh, that's pretty wild. So of course, I watched it. I got to see it. And then I find out it's going to go. I'm like, there you go. I'm thinking, I'll get another paycheck because they're going to reshoot the pilot. They reshoot the pilot. Palumbo does not get the phone call. I'm like, oh, shit. Not going to, that sucks. I did the work. I got him to the NBA finals and now I'm benched again, right?
Wait, so, but it wasn't the pilot that you were in, right?
Pilot, yeah. First episode.
So how the hell did you get back in it then?
Because I assume we're reshooting the pilot, different writers, different directors, the whole bit, but they didn't reshoot all of the pilot. They kept that open, which to me is another clarification. Hey, this guy Jimmy Palumbo came in, hit 3-3. Let's not take that out of the game. We don't need those 9 points in a 6-point win taken off the board. So next thing you know, when it came on, there I am. And then and Dominic Lombardozzi's in it. I'm like, oh shit, he's even in it. So it was a real cool, it's a great show. It really is, especially those first couple episodes. And the storyline is that he looks like his prisoner that he's in prison with, and he takes over that guy's identity. And except the grandmother is not so sure early on, blah, blah, blah. But
she's a hard egg.
She's a hard egg. Actress was great in that. And it's a cool show, different. I think it's a different show. It's pretty cool. So it was an absolute pleasure to do that. And that was my Sneaky Pete.
You find that like Dominic Lombardozzi is officially like found himself as a typecast, like he's always playing this similar dude. Like similar, like, the guy from Taken, right? Liam Neeson, everything he's ever done. He's all of a sudden looking for somebody. He's looking for his wife, gonna kill everybody. Do all that. Like Lombardozzi, I feel like he's the mob guy. He's the Italian guy. He's the like he's the meat, the muscle.
I mean, he's a big guy. He's physically imposing. I think he's a good actor too. So I don't know.
Oh, I do too. I found him in the same roles a lot.
You know what it is when you know somebody personally, you don't want to say he's typecast because it's kind of like
No, I'm just a fan.
No.
So it's like, you know.
Listen, I'm 59 years old. I'd kill to be typecasted and work as much as Dominic does. I think Dominic Lombardozzi, he was great in The Wire. He was great in Ray Donovan. He was great on Entourage. He does these guest spots that are 6-7 episodes on these certain shows, and he's great. He's great in Tulsa Kings. He's great in that other Army show. I forget the title of it. And he's really good at everything he does. I hope he gets a role on a big show where he can be like, whether he's typecasted or not, I don't know.
Well, he's pretty significant in Tulsa King.
Yeah, I mean, I would really love to see him get out, even get more notoriety. He's going to be great in Fresh Kills coming out Friday, by the way, which I was going to bring up later.
Cool.
I'm going to try to go see it Friday night if I can. It's like in 8 cities in the beginning, in the big, New York, Miami, Chicago, LA. But no, he's just great. He's I guess he is typecast, but he's really good, man. Like, remember him
really
in
is. Everything he's
Entourage
ever been
in,
I enjoyed.
He was so good. Entourage, what a prick he played. Oh my God.
Oh man, those episodes are fucking great. Steals the Shrek doll.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So
and
he was great in The Joint a million times. I just had to have it.
Yeah, he's great in The Family with me. That show, movie, he did great in there. He's just great in everything, and he's a good guy. I really, matter of fact, I'm dying to grab lunch from him. It's been a while. But yeah, but funny thing, I think we're on our 3rd or 4th thing together, which at least the same show anyway, which is cool. Which brings us to Absolute Eyewear, getting involved, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326-3937. Craig and Johnny, and go down to the train station in Woodbridge and get all your eyeglass needs. They got everything over there. Charles Oakley hangs out there. That's only funny to my listeners. She sent me some pickleball glasses, and I got hit yesterday in the forehead with a pickleball it hit the top of my hat. Off, not in front of me. I don't usually get hit in front of me, but it came off my partner's paddle, ricocheted back. And I just learned that's how most people get hit in the eye. And I didn't have the glasses on. So Jay Bird, I apologize for that. But they got all kinds of glasses.
It was a perfect opportunity to say, I had the glasses on.
No, I can't do it. No, afterwards, after that match, I went in, I put them back on. Of course, I didn't get hit after that, but they're really a cool pair. So I give you a shout out. Go down Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey. Last night I was wearing the Absolute Eyewear shirt as I was, hitting the ball all over the field, which Janine went to at least 90% of Corona games. She watched her brother strike out.
Top sports games.
Yeah, she watched her brother strike out, all-time strikeout leader, and she watched me. And Jay Bird, this is for you. 1 year, I was so on fire to start the season. I literally was like 4 for 4, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. And then I was 5 for 5 the 4th week. And finally I made out. I'm like, Janine, is it easier if I just count outs rather than hits? It's just easier that way. She roared at that. I was also 10 for 10 in a doubleheader. I mean, 10, who does that? I do. Anyway, I think I was 10 for 10 with no doubles, only singles. With my wussy swing. But anyway,
according to yesterday's social media, it was in fact Johnny Trino bobblehead day.
That's it. Bobblehead day here to say it. Yes, that was fun. It's funny. Anything with Beer League, I laugh at. And hopefully our pilot for Beer League. Well,
this is not dead air, folks.
Okay. Listen, years ago, I'm going to bring it down a little bit.
We filmed this thing called Beer League.
Years ago, before I met Dave Sergio, I casted him in a thing called Beer League, the series, the pilot. And matter of fact, he was only dating his wife. Stella wasn't there. He wasn't even in showbiz. And supposedly this pilot will eventually get done.
I did text Tom yesterday and I said, I just had like PTSD, a flashback. I asked a girl who looked like she was struggling, do you need a spot? But I did not do what I did in Beer League, the series, which you will find out sometime in 2027.
Yes, I'm hoping to get this Beer League pilot. I know we owe some people some signed autographs and stuff, whatever, for the support on Indiegogo. But I'm opening up an Indiegogo for me personally because I have to wait for the pilot. So I'm going to open up this thing where you send me the money you spent
Pain
on
and
the
suffering.
pilot. It goes back to me for pain and suffering. I'm
Mhm.
getting a text from the cast members like, "Hey Jimmy, what's going on with Beer League?" I'm like,
Same.
"Oh,
I'm all right. First of all, if I'm getting shit,
yeah."
I got a message from what's her Natalie? Is it the pitcher?
Gabby,
Yeah,
Natalie,
is that her name, Natalie?
Natalie,
I'm drawing a blank, but
at
she
first,
is like, "Hey, whatever happened to beer league?" And I was like, "Hey, it's on its way. Don't you worry. It's
well,
so
listen,
damn good. Can't wait."
we we shot it in black and white, and it was before they added sound to film. You know what though? I thought
And the
Charlie
camera's
Chaplin.
actually
Listen,
rolling. You have to
first of all, Charlie Chaplin did such a great job in Beer League the series. He really did. I mean, he was on fire. You know what I mean? I was just like,
who would
and
have
you
thought?
got the
Listen, who would have thought we had the financials to get Laurel and Hardy to do
it's
our first
unbelievable,
during the
unbelievable.
section?
And then it was great on the set. The Three Stooges stopped by. That was wonderful to see that. Yeah, it was great. You know what I mean? I was like, this is great. And then we were gonna have like all the short people, like Wizard of Oz, because we were shooting at the same time on the lot next to them. And I was like, yeah, bring in the little munchkins. You know what I mean? Oh, then the lollipop kids showed up. It was just a great day at the stadium. Oh my God. And you know what's funny? I couldn't, Ruth called me and said him and Garrick were going on some cruise to Japan or something. And I'm like, oh, come on, babe, just come by. You know what I mean?
Something about a world war. They couldn't do it,
Yeah,
right?
they
It's like,
couldn't
oh,
do it.
damn,
You
all
know what
right.
I mean? So it was just unbelievable. But no, first of all, we should back. Well, the bus I was on in Sneaky Pete just went over Tom Balding.
All
We
he
shot it.
sees are the insides of the bus
Okay.
looking up.
Okay. Okay. A couple of rules of showbiz. If you shoot something, a short film during Halloween, you should be able to see it before the 4th of July. That's all I'm saying. Now, a full-length feature takes time.
All it
All
takes
right.
is my father. All it took was my father to ask the other day. He's like, "Hey, whatever happened to that?" I was like, "Oh, Jesus
You know,
Christ!"
you know what it's like? It's like a bad landscaping idea you had and you never did it. I'm thinking about putting bricks around the pool. Yeah, 8 years later, hey, Dad, whatever happened to the thing you were going to build? A little fountain with the water coming down and the what do you call those Japanese fish that live in the winter underneath the
Oh
water?
yeah.
You don't never
Koi.
do that. Koi. It's koi fish day. Tommy, listen, I'm throwing Tom Bowling. He had some issues with his editor and all that. There was illnesses.
Shit happens. We get it.
Shit happens. We get it. But
No. Shit happens. I get it. Jimmy, on the other hand, that's another story.
Listen, I can barely turn on this shit to get this show on live here. But what the hell was I going to say? So hopefully we'll get that. I did have something else I wanted to mention. I can't think of it right now. Absolute eyewear. I wanted to mention something. Of course, don't forget, go down to the Pine Tar Bar and Grill. I know what I want to say. Pine Tar Bar and Grill, 121 South Main Street, Forked River, New Jersey, 609-489-4286. The best sports bar in America, owned by Tommy Plenty. I'll go down there and bust his balls. Also, therapy by Lisa Rowan. 201-725-1251. If you're in a jam, you're not feeling right, please call her up. Give her a shout. We have coming up this week. What do we got? Father's Day. I think we should mention Father's Day before. It's all you sons out there, enjoy your fathers, even if they're older. Talk to them, listen to them. If they're way older, let them repeat stories. Let them talk to your kids. Try to stop by, call, write. I would kill. I'm wearing, the Corona shirt. That's why I'm wearing Dad's Garrick hat. I was playing pickleball yesterday with a guy, probably around 65. He was wearing a Garrick shirt, like one of those newer Yankee ones, just says Garrick 4 on the back. And I'm like, it's almost like, they say like if a cardinal flies by, it reminds you of someone who died. I see someone, nobody wears Garrick shirts anymore. I see the Garrick like, my dad's watching me play pickleball saying, what the fuck kind of game is this? But,
this is what you came out. This is what you turned into.
This is what you turned into. You're doing shitty podcasts and playing pickleball? Oh my God. Turn it over in his grave and shit.
Your dad would have adored me.
Oh no, first of all, if my dad were alive, he would have not known who you are, but he would have been like this. Jimmy, your friend there, the guy, what you guys do that thing on the TV. What is it called? That the podcast? Yeah. What's that? Where does he live? And then like he was so bad. But then when he saw you, hugging you, telling you about Lou Gehrig, Yankees, and then you go, Jimmy, your friend there, I saw him last night at Riffy's. What's his name? The guy that does the television thing. That Dave Sturgeon. So funny. He was great that way. But anyway, Father's Day, of course, I'm a dad now. And I don't even know what I'm doing Father's Day yet, but I'm sure I'll be with my daughter.
Nothing sounds great to me. Nothing.
Well, I hope you get to sit by the pool with your.
Yeah, that's the tentative plan right now. A little poolside action. Dunk on my dad a little bit and pool basketball. Show him who's boss.
Isn't that sad? A big fucking fat fuck like you's got to dunk over your father.
Tyson has a request for Father's Day.
Release the beer league pilot. Listen, as much as I love my dad, that is not happening. Okay, that is for the I don't know what. Poor Tom. Tom, he doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tom really doesn't control any of this. Like he's just he's the producer, but like and the director, but like he's he sends it out and he's just like, here, edit this, please. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that shit.
I hopefully will. There is rumor that it will be done by the end of this week. Be honest with you.
Oh,
he did.
Okay,
he did.
Cool.
He did text me that, and I texted him back a very long text. I just wrote, "Okay." Sent. And Jimmy wants to talk it over. Coming, you know what
might
he's
as
like?
well send him a fucking thumbs up emoji. It's like, yep, gotcha, Tom. Great.
When Tom missed his third 3-pointer, he's walking back to the bench. Jimmy Palumbo is glaring at. Hopefully
one must have to wonder what's going through the mind of Jimmy Palumbo as he trots back to the dugout.
We don't even remember actors' names. I have to go back. I don't remember what happens in this. I forget the plot. I do know.
All I know is I'm the star of the entire thing. Dave, that's all that matters.
The worst part about this is that the delayed Dave Destruction debut.
And today of all days, today is 12 years in the professional wrestling business. Is my 12-year anniversary of being in this stupid thing we call pro wrestling.
And we were about to have Dave Destruction on a softball field. Fans were lined up.
Silver screen.
Oh, my God.
Or the phone, either way.
I get it. All right, well, listen. Happy Father's Day. Please hug your dad. Call him. Text him. If you can't get to him, whatever, go visit his grave. I'm going to try to do that on Saturday, actually. And that's it. Happy Father's Day to your dad. And that's it. That's all I got to say. That's another show in the books. Next week, I think we have a guest next week. I don't know. We're supposed to have a guest. We're due for a guest, don't you think?
We got a guest next week? Oh, I don't know. I fucking hell with it.
Well, we're having Bobby Collins on the 18th. That I know. But next week we got that is next week. What am I saying? So Bobby Collins is a guest next week. I got to make sure we set that up. Probably get blown off by him. If I get blown off by Bobby Collins, he is definitely going to want to talk it over. I'm going to be like, and Palumbo calls for time, and he is furious.
I'm going to get the text on Monday night. Bobby canceled. What fucking credit do you want to do?
Oh, forget it. I am going to be like screaming at Dick Bavetta. Oh, God, that's a great reference. Venditti definitely flew off the road. Dick Bavetta
poor Venditti's drove off the road 6 times today.
Well, listen,
get your shit together, Steve.
Do you know who Dick Bavetta is?
No.
He's a long time. He reffed in the NBA for 30 years, never missed a game.
What the fuck would I know a ref?
You got to know ref names.
I know Donahue because he fucking bet on the damn sport. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right. That's it. We'll see you. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. We should, your new app. We didn't even.
Yes. Real quick. My Fandom app just launched on iOS right now. First, we're working on Android.
It's called it's My Fandom. It's
My Fandom, yeah. So it's a really, really cool app that was designed by the guys that pretty much brought you Premier Wrestling. We kind of evolved into all sports now because we feel like that's going to be a bigger market. It's co-owned by Freddie Prinze Jr. I got a call with him. Not going to name drop, but I just did. But call with him at 1:00. He's a part of this whole thing, so it's really cool. Go check it out. Download it, iOS. You get to log all of the games you've ever been to, ever watched. So like the rabbit hole that you would go down right now, specifically me with the Cowboys, is I would just basically like log the game. And if I went, I'll post pictures of me and my brother or me and my father who went to the game. If not, I can always say watched and review the game and say, well, Emmett broke his shoulder this day. I saw it on TV and he ruined the Giants' playoff chances. You know what I mean? So there's ways to do it. Big sports app. Very pumped about it.
It's real cool. So go on there and download. They want to get in early. It's just launched. So go in there and download it. Even if you don't want to quite tinker with it right now, just download today so they get an early jump. That's the My Fandom app, MyFandom. I just did it. App Store. It takes you a few seconds to log in and do your thing. All right, that'll do it here from the Omni in Atlanta. Haven't said that in a while. Good evening, everybody. This is For the Chicken. All right, we'll see you next week.